Good American Family Episode 6 Recap. The misery of Natalia Grace continues. The smart and complete turnaround of Good American Family has been a whiplash-inducing pivot that has improved the Hulu series tenfold. And that continues in Episode 6, Not Today, Satan, which continues to torment Natalia Grace, reveal new perspectives on her time with the Barnetts, and introduce a potential lifeline in the form of a woman who seems to be Christine's moral and financial opposite, but still peppers in enough ambiguity that the audience can never quite be sure of anyone's intentions. Christine is totally absent from this episode aside from brief appearances in flashbacks, though her voice is heard on the phone. For that reason, among others, she takes on a kind of monstrous, spectral quality, her snarling voice ringing in Natalia's ears whenever she's forced into a position she finds uncomfortable. "I'm 22, I just look young for my age," she repeats. "My parents and I are very close." In her memories, Christine pepper sprays and beats her. As usual, Episode 6 of Good American Family opens with Natalia being interviewed by Brandon. They're referring to a scene in which Christine gave Natalia tampons and showed her how to use them, because she was sick of finding the bloody socks in the wardrobe. Natalia is distressingly sensitive about the subject, but the implication is clear. The only time Natalia pulled from her private parts was after that lesson from Christine. The bloody socks are later explained. Christine would make Natalia walk the block without shoes to teach her a lesson, leaving her feet a mess. And just like that, the show has taken on a significantly more horrifying contour. It's the feet thing that introduces Natalia to Cynthia Mance. In her new place in Lafayette, Indiana, Natalia has to walk to school, where she can't complete the work or get on with any of the other students because she's still a child. Walking is difficult for her. It devastates her feet. So she has to take breaks. And it's during one of these breaks that Cynthia drives by, recognizes she's in distress, and offers to help. It's gradually revealed that Cynthia is married to a preacher named Antoine, and together they have 7 children. Some of them God's children. In other words, kids they have taken in to rescue them from difficult circumstances. Cynthia is presented as a direct counter to Christine. There are moments when Natalia reels off her usual script, gets defensive, and at one point even lashes out. But in every instance, Cynthia's approach is softer, more understanding. She's able to break through Natalia's barriers, which have been strengthened after Christine's more overt abuses, and welcome her into her home. Cynthia looking after Natalia also means getting some medical answers. She poses as her mother in the doctor's office to get scans completed that can address Natalia's chronic pain and discomfort. Those scans reveal, unequivocally, that Natalia is not 22. She's a child. But they also raise suspicions and attract the attention of Brandon, who accuses the Mance family of essentially kidnapping children to steal their government benefits. This would seem like an outlandish claim if we hadn't already seen evidence of it. When Cynthia initially took Natalia shopping, she tricked her into paying for the groceries on her EBT card. Now this might be as it appeared. Cynthia was trying to find a way to get Natalia to come over for dinner, and technically tricked her into paying for her own groceries. But there's a conversation between Natalia and Antoine that Natalia overhears about needing the money. It's nothing conclusive, but the bait is there. Nothing about Cynthia and Antoine suggests they truly have ill intentions, though. Their kids seem very happy and well-adjusted, even the ones who aren't biologically theirs. And Cynthia shows a great deal of patience with an affection for Natalia. When Christine somehow gets her number and calls to tell her that Natalia is dangerous, and an adult in disguise who, this is a new one, tried to steal her husband, Cynthia defends Natalia, doesn't berate her for running away, and even tells her the truth about what Christine said. It's a fascinating place for the audience to be, and Good American Family episode 6 leaves us there. We have no idea what Cynthia's intentions are, but they seem better than Christine's. But there's also a pretty clear suggestion that they stand to benefit from their rescue of Natalia. Does it matter? If doing the right thing morally benefits them financially, hasn't the right thing still been done? It's hard to say, especially for Natalia, who is being pulled this way, and that through no fault of her own. But the way the show is revealing new suggestions of what life might have been like in the Barnett household, it's beginning to seem like Natalia would be better off literally anywhere else. The storm over Natalia Grace's story shows no signs of letting up in episode 6 of The Good American Family. Tensions deepen, truths unravel, and the blurred lines between victim and villain become more confounding than ever. This episode, haunting and heartbreakingly surreal, doesn't just pull back the curtain, it rips it off the rod. The hour begins in a hushed courtroom. Natalia sits in the witness chair, her feet dangling above the ground. Her eyes are wide, filled with a lifetime of confusion, pain, and perhaps, just perhaps, a shred of calculation. Across the room, Michael Barnett stares at her with a strange mixture of defiance and despair. The air is heavy, as though years of speculation and fear have been distilled into this single moment. We rewind, as we often do in this series, to the tangled origin of Natalia's stay in the United States. Adopted from Ukraine under the pretense of being a 6-year-old child, Natalia was soon suspected by the Barnetts of being a much older adult, afflicted with a rare form of dwarfism, and possibly sinister intentions. They claim she lied, threatened, and manipulated. She claims she was abused, neglected, and discarded. Episode 6 doesn't seek to solve the mystery, it deepens it. In the Barnetts' new round of interviews, Michael paints a picture of chaos. He says he was living with a stranger in a child's body, a chilling line that anchors much of the episode. He recounts nights where he claims Natalia stood over their bed, holding a knife. Christine Barnett, now separated from Michael, and conspicuously absent from this episode's interviews, is referenced only in hushed tones. A former neighbor describes her as the engine behind the fear, implying that Christine's paranoia may have fueled the family's choices. But is this fear justified, or was it weaponized? Natalia, calm and soft-spoken in her own interviews, maintains her innocence. She tearfully recalls being left in an apartment in Lafayette, Indiana, alone, without food, transportation, or support. She was allegedly a child, barely older than 10. I was a kid, she insists. They left me. The apartment walls still bear the marks of her solitude, scribbles on wallpaper, a calendar with scribbled hearts around holidays she says she spent alone. The mise-en-scene of this part of the episode is stark and unforgiving, letting silence and empty space say what words cannot. In a particularly gut-wrenching moment, Natalia opens a shoebox filled with small, weathered toys. These were mine, she says, no one else's. I kept them with me even when I didn't have anything else. That shoebox becomes a symbol of the innocence she clings to, and perhaps the naivete she wants viewers to believe she's retained. Enter Dr. Phil. Yes, in a somewhat surreal cameo, the show uses archival footage from Natalia's appearance on Dr. Phil. The tension is electric. On the show, Dr. Phil grills her with gentle but unyielding questions, trying to determine if her childlike demeanor is genuine or a well-practiced act. This footage is then cut with new interviews from psychologists and social workers, some who believe Natalia was clearly a minor, others who suspect a deeper deception. And then comes a twist. A former family friend of the Barnetts, previously unseen, steps forward for the first time. Her name is Joanne Redding, a woman who once babysat Natalia. She drops a bombshell. Natalia didn't act like a 22-year-old. She acted like a scared little girl. Joan's voice cracks as she recalls Natalia asking if Santa Claus was real. She wasn't pretending, she says. She just didn't know better. The episode takes a darker turn when surveillance footage is introduced, grainy clips from the apartment complex where Natalia was left alone. She's seen struggling with grocery bags, waving down neighbors, sometimes sitting alone for hours on the curb. It's painful to watch. Whether she was a child or not, she was undeniably abandoned. We also hear from legal experts who explain how the Barnetts were able to have Natalia's birth year changed from 2003 to 1989. The legal process is depicted as disturbingly lax. Just a few court documents, no medical testing required. With one judge's ruling, Natalia was transformed from a child to a legal adult overnight. The final 10 minutes of the episode are among the most gripping of the entire series. Natalia visits the courtroom where her civil case is set to unfold. She stands in the center of the empty room, her shoes squeaking against the polished floor. The camera lingers on her face, haunted, solemn, perhaps even resolute. "I want to be seen," she whispers. "I want people to know the truth, not the story someone else made up for me."